the channel. So I was asked recently if I could do a page out of either Moon Valley or Luna using the Kalour watercolor pencils. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna do a page out of Moon Valley with the Kalour 120 set of watercolor pencils. And the page that I chose to do today is this page here. And I have picked out the colors already that I would like to use. I may change this up just a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But for right now, the colors that I've chosen are Carmine Rose, Prussian Green, Forest Gray, and Blue Black. And we will need one other red for our ladybug up here. I think we'll do dark fuchsia for that. Which is this one right here. I'm just gonna sharpen this real fast. And then we'll get moving. So we'll go ahead and do the ladybug and get that out of the way. The black dots on the ladybug I'll probably do with a glitter gel pen and his little head, but for the rest of his body we'll use this here. And I'm just kind of going along the outside edge and then fade it in a little. Excuse me. And I'll let the water brush do the rest of the work for that whenever we activate. So I'm gonna put this one back in its case. All right, so now I'm gonna take this Carmine Rose. Sorry, I'm just move it around a little bit. Okay, so with the Carmine Rose, I'm gonna go along the top and anywhere where a petal overlaps, and then fade it down a little, but not all the way to the edge. And I'll probably do a few of these with you. And then I will probably pause, go off camera, and finish them and come back so that you're not bored watching me do the same thing over and over. But basically, like that is how we're gonna do. I love the, excuse me, I love these watercolor pencils. I'm still learning a lot, but I find them very enjoyable to use, and I'm gonna do a video probably within the next couple days coloring on a budget with these. If you don't have them and you're interested in them a little more, we'll take a little bit closer look at them. So I have been using them a lot lately. The excuse me. Trying to lose my voice this morning. But that's how it always goes when I start filming. So I'll probably do like these 5 up here, and then I'll stop and go off and fill the rest in, and then I'll come back and we'll move on. And I'm gonna wait to activate everything till the end this time. And we'll activate some of it together, probably not all of it again, but I will activate some of everything on camera for you. Part of what I love about the watercolor pencils is how easy how easy they are, how easy they make it to get a page complete, how quick it makes it go. Now, of course, you can definitely use more than one color on each. This is just the way I enjoy using them the most, is basically using one color and letting the water brush drag it out and create like a natural gradient. That's just kind of how I enjoy them. I have used more than one color on an item and blended them together, but this is just, I don't know. This is the way I prefer for the most part. But all right, so I'm gonna zoom you out a little. So I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna fill in all the rest of these flowers, and then I will be back and we'll move on to some of the stems and the cat. See you in a minute. Okay, I'm back and I've got all the flowers filled in. So the next thing we're gonna work on are like the stems and leaves and things. For that, I have Prussian green. I'm gonna try to leave it zoomed out for the moment until we get maybe to some smaller areas. But since some of these are so long, I'm gonna leave it zoomed out a bit. So what I'm gonna do is, for the areas that are like leaves, I'm gonna take this where they start, where they meet the base of the plant, and then fade that out. And then on some of it, I'm gonna go along like one side. Kind of like that. Because this is turned over, I'm putting a little bit more here and then fading that down and going along that edge. Excuse me. Like that. And then here I'll put some down and go along this edge. Like that. I probably should have zoomed in a little bit more. But kind of like that. I'll do another one, and then we'll move on. So here. Oh, zoom you in even more. Maybe. Sorry, I'm not trying to make anybody sick. Let's see. Right like that. There we go. Alright, so for this one, I'm going to go along this edge. Just like that. You can always use watercolor pencil for like a base layer, so you can always go in on top after you've activated it and let it dry with your colored pencils to give it more depth and dimension if you feel you need to or want to. Okay, let's see, where am I at here? Okay, so for the stem, I'm just going to start where it meets the flower and fade that out. Do the same here. And then right in here, I'm going to add a little more. Fade it out. Like that. And then down here. And fade that up. And I'll let the water brush do the rest of the work for me. So that's basically how I'm going to do all of these. All of the stems and leaves. And then I'm going to move this for just a second up here. So we have this little bit here at the very top. I'm going to do that on camera with you as well. So again, just kind of like I did before. Put a little bit darker there, and then right in here. Alright, so next we'll do the cat, and then I'll go off camera and finish filling everything else in, and we'll come back and we'll activate. So, move things around just a second. Okay, so we got our little kitty down here. And this little cat reminds me of my cat, Luna, so I'm going to color it in similar colors to her. She's like a charcoal gray, long hair cat, so we have blue, black, and forest gray. And I'm going to use 2 colors, for actually probably 3, because I'm going to put a little bit of pink inside the ear. So we'll find flashlight. Where's that at? Should be, oh, no, I am not, because it is not in. Let's see. Let's do flesh instead. like a pinky peachy kind of color. Alright, so I'm going to take the blue black, that one there, and I'm not going to try not to use too much of this color, just anywhere where there would be a shadow, or where I think there would be a shadow. I'm going to put some of this blue black. And then just a little along the very edge. Just real light pressure. Just applying just a little bit there. And then along the tail, where the tail is curled up against the cat's body. And a little bit more. Alright, and then try to focus this color more along the bottom of the tail. And fade it up. Again, we're going to use that forest gray also, so I'm not going to completely fill that in. Alright, and now around the head, just a little. Along the ear. Again, really light pressure here. Okay, and then I go over that with the forest gray. Start down here at the tail. Go over what I put down, just like I would with my colored pencils. And then I'm bringing that out just a little bit further. I'm not going to take it all the way to the edge, but close enough. That way we still have a little bit of gradation with our water brush. This paw real quick. Okay. Now around the face, do a little bit up around the ear. Come away from this here. But when I get around this area, I'm definitely leaving that uncolored, so that it can hopefully stay the lightest area on her little face. Okay, I'm going to sharpen this pencil real fast. we'll fill her little ear, inside of her little ear, just real lightly. Just like that. Alright, so I'm going to pause and finish with the leaves and stems, and then when we come back, we will activate and see where we're at. See you in a moment. Alright, I'm back. I've got everything filled in, and I've grabbed my water brush, my paper towel, and I have a few other water brushes here, but this one here is the one that I like to use the most. It is a Tombow water brush. I've used it so much the writing has wore off, but it came in a pack of 3, and they had 3 different sizes. Here's one of the other ones, so you can kind of see the writing on there. But this is the smallest, and this is the one that I like to use the most because I feel like I have the most control with it because it has such a small brush tip on there. So I'm just gonna get that going, make sure I don't have anything on there. All right, and then let me zoom you in, and we'll start activating some stuff. Actually, let's start with the little ladybug because it's so tiny. We're gonna start with that. And I'm just spreading that color around. And then I'll dab my brush off. Alright, we'll move on to our flowers. I like to start in the lightest part and spread that out and then go into the dark. It's just how I like to activate most of the time. Not always. But usually kind of how I do it. And I'll kind of work back and forth until I like how it looks. And I also tend to wipe my brush off on my paper towel quite a lot as well. So try to keep from having too much water. Kind of like that. Do a few more. I think what I'll do for the activation part is I'll activate a few of these on camera with you. I'll activate some of the leaves and stems, and the cat, and then I'll probably do the rest on camera as well, but speed it up and set it to music so that you can see it, and then we'll take a look at it at the end and see how it all come together. I don't think I'm going to do a background on this. I just don't necessarily feel like it needs one. But of course, if you're doing this image, if you want to do a background, you most certainly could. You could use the pencils or anything else, gel crayons, pastels, watercolor pencils, paint, anything at all. Oops. I'm messy sometimes when it comes to this. Try to lift that with my brush. Go. think we'll do this one here, and then then we'll do some of the stems and the cat. Now, a lot of times if I've just wiped my brush off and I go to do another part, I will get in the dark part first and then move to the light, just so that I have a little bit of that color left on there. All right, so let's do our stems. Okay. I'm just dragging the color around, making sure that that gets all nice and filled in. All right. Make sure that you can see what I'm doing here. Zoom you out just a little bit. All right, and then for the leaves, I'm gonna do a couple of those right here by the cat. And then we'll activate her. And once this dries, if you could also always add another layer of this watercolor pencil down if you wanted to, if you felt like it wasn't quite the color you wanted. I would just make sure that the page has completely dried before you do that. I'm cleaning my brush now. I'm gonna try to lift where I went out of the line. Okay. And we'll do one more right here, and then we'll move on to the cat. All right, so I'm just gonna clean my brush again, make sure I don't have any green on there. Okay, I'm gonna do the ears first since they're that really light peachy color. Get those first. Okay, clean my brush again. I'm not dragging colors into each other. And I'm just gonna work on her little face. And one good thing is with the water brush, you can use it to kind of push back the color if you came too far out. So there's her cute little face. Now we'll work on the rest of her. I'll go along this edge first, since it's the lighter edge. Just get that to where I like it. Alright, and then we'll start down here and do the same. And again for her tail. Activate that lighter color first, then go into the darker gray. And kind of blend those together and push it around till I like the way it looks. Alright, I think I like that pretty well. So now I'll do the rest, but it's going to be sped up and set to music. I'm going to zoom out enough to where you can see the whole thing. Alright, I'll see you back when it's done. There's only one thing left that I'd like to do. And I decided instead of a black glitter gel pen, I'm going to use my black Jelly Roll Glaze pen to do the dots on the ladybug. And the ladybug's head. So I'm just going to fill these in. Just like that. And that's it. I'm going to zoom you back out so you can see the whole thing. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. And if you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, stay safe, happy coloring, have a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving, and spread joy like glitter. Bye, guys.